this computer, which I got 2 days ago at the time of you hearing this. So we're gonna rank countries based on how good they are to live in, from Singapore and Slovenia to the United States and China. And we're gonna start with Bosnia. Now, Bosnia, I'm gonna put it in the tolerable tier because we got blind minds, ethnic instability. Doesn't sound like an amazing place to live in, but very. I mean, not like like if I was forced to live, if I had a choice to live there for like end my life, I would probably end my life. I would like not end my life. So maybe wouldn't end my life, and would probably just live in Bosnia. Now, Brazil, I'm gonna put on the decent tier. It's kind of rich, you know. Um, it's horrible to live in because we're quite developed too. So it must really live pretty nice lives. So I mean, not like in the three good best tiers. We definitely love that. Now Cyprus, I'm gonna put in the decent tier, or the actually decent, but lower than Brazil, like very low decent tier, because what they did was like the island of Cyprus is divided, but both sides are pretty good to live on. So if a war sparked, then they would be lower in the tier list, but no big wars have sparked there. Oh no, Estonia, I'm gonna put in the amazing tier, and that's because Estonia is a first world developed country. Uh, actually, but I mean, if there's a war with Russia, they'll probably move down to like bad, but like they're pretty good. They're pretty good to live in. Germany, I mean, I'm gonna say it's in the amazing tier. Probably better than Estonia because it doesn't really have any threats on its borders. So yeah, that's it. Now Israel, I don't know here. Like, 'cause if you was like living in like not the West Bank or the Gaza Strip, it would be here. It would be like here, or even here, because it has a high GDP per capita, first world living standards. But if you're like, I mean, really, if you're Palestinian, it really goes from like here if you're living in the best region of the West Bank to like here if you're living in the Gaza Strip. So I'm gonna like, yeah, there's no Palestine here. So I'm just gonna put it in the meh tier because it really depends where you live in. Kazakhstan, I'm gonna put in the tolerable tier, lower than Bosnia though, because Bosnia is democratic and Kazakhstan's not. So it's kind of like Bosnia, but like a bit poorer. But it's still tolerable to live in. As long as you get like if you only go into a relatively rich neighborhood, I think you'll be okay. Uh, Latvia, I'm gonna all the Baltic countries, I'm gonna put in the amazing tier. Uh, Now Luxembourg, that's gonna be the first utopian country. Because Luxembourg's small, high GDP per capita, high standards of living. You're set if you live there. Um, Now Romania, I'm gonna put in the decent tier. Actually, the good tier because I mean Brazil could be moved up to the good tier. Move up to the good tier. Because the thing with Romania is that it's relatively developed, pretty nice to live in. Nice statues and shit. So like, rich history. Blah 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 blah. The Netherlands. Now the Netherlands, I'm gonna put in the amazing tier. Not yeah, actually, I'm gonna put them in the amazing tier. They developed, good country to live in. Actually, I'm gonna put them above the Baltic states. The United States of America. Definitely not in the mad, decent, or good tiers. Not in any of these tiers, because it's a nice place to live in as long as you're like, as long as you aren't poor. If you're poor, like, you don't earn enough money, it's kind of here because the government really needs to give a shit about you for some reason. I wonder why, guys. Like, we should get better. But for most people, despite what anybody else tells you, despite what those do more YouTube shorts and TikTok people tell you, America is actually an absolutely amazing place to live in. And from my experience and from many others' experience, if any if you don't like living in America, just go to like any other country outside of Europe or Canada and like see how it is like there, and you'll be begging and you'll be kicking and screaming to go back to America in like 10 minutes. I like if you don't like America so much and you think America's like this evil capitalist like hellhole, uh, first off, it kind of is, yeah. Like it's evil, not really evil, but like kinda. It is capitalist. But it's not a hellhole. And if you think that way, just go like any other country outside the first world, and you'll be begging and kicking and screaming to go back to the first world in like 20 minutes. Like Kami Tanky Stalin was good 101. You are not a tanky, buddy. If you eat McDonald's every 10 minutes, you aren't a tanky, buddy. Be 220 pounds, bro. Uh, and I'm not saying that all communists are bad. I'm saying the tanky communists for the United States is the worst thing to ever happen to the world. I'm talking about like the tanky Stalinists because they're like some nice socialists who are democratic. Actually good people to talk to. Tankies are ass though. So yeah, Spain, same tier as all the other developed countries. Only a bit above these three because Spain's having riots right now. I don't bring Spain down to the high good tier just because of its riots. That's because they're giving amnesty to terrorists. I don't see why you would do that. Still, yeah. Albania. I'm gonna put Albania like where all the other. I'm putting all the other Balkan countries, but it's above Bosnia because like Bosnia has, like they're not as stable as Albania. Australia, I'm gonna put in the amazing tier above the United States because Australia is a good country, nice to live in, good living standards. Same for Austria. Like all these Austrian colors with the tricolor, and all these European countries with the tricolor and the like good European living standards. Yeah, they're all just gonna be in the amazing tier, except for Spain. Uh, Belarus. Now, this bad. Belarus is actually gonna be the first country in the horrible tier because the government's suppressing and shit. And it's also like not. It's actually not as developed as the rest of Europe. So like in other, if it was like shot down in the middle of Africa, it would probably be like here or here. But like it's Europe, the most developed continent, and it still manages to be a shithole. So like I'm not giving any like kudos to you. Fuck you, Belarus. Like you're irrelevant. Belgium here. Bulgaria, it's actually gonna be the first Balkan country I'm gonna put like up here because Bulgaria is relatively stable. It's kind of like Romania, but like actually I'm gonna put it with Romania because like they're not really the same thing. Like their living standards and shit is the same thing. Canada, Canada, despite what you may, I'm gonna put in the good tier like Spain, uh, because the United States we don't have like assisted suicide and shit, and we aren't run by the absolute idiot that is Justin Trudeau. Um, and we don't have a massive chunk of our country threatening to secede every 10 minutes. Like, none of these countries have massive chunks of the whole country threatening to secede every 2 minutes. Canada and Spain do. And also, Canada's run by, like, an absolute idiot who claims to be, like, socialist and shit. And then other minutes he claims to be like this rightist gigatrad. He's not any of those. He's just an idiot. Yeah, like he doesn't. It's just idiotism. He doesn't have an ideology. Just to that. Now, Colombia, I'm gonna put in the decent tier. Respect for Colombia. They've become a relatively prosperous South American country. Taking the title away from Venezuela, who's not on this list. Croatia, I'm gonna put in tolerable. Meh, actually, below Israel, but above Albania, because relatively developed. Still not like amazing place to live in. Like I rather than like pay to live there. And then Denmark, I'm gonna put in the bad tier. Yeah, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. Yeah, first Scandinavian utopia for each country. There's gonna be a lot of those. Oh yeah, we have Finland next. So, but like the best country on this list probably, unless it's like Norway. I think there's Norway. France. I'm gonna put in the good tier, like these three. probably one of the best of the good tier states because like they have like all three of these are pretty bad riots, but at least like France, they're doing a little better now. So I'm actually gonna move them to a little low, amazing tier. Georgia, I'm gonna put them in the decent tier. Pretty nice state to live in, relatively democratic, so nice competition there. Uh, Greece, we're gonna put here. Nice place to live in. From what I've heard, the cities are ass though. So Hungary, I'm gonna put in the tolerable tier. Must be amazing having a neo-fascist government and Polish living standards with a Russian level of government. So that must suck. Uh, Iceland, we're gonna put it in the actually I'm gonna put it in the amazing tier. It must be so cold there. It's so lonely. Like 300,000 people live there. Like, wow, 300,000 people live there. Like only 300,000. Like that must be so lonely. Oh my god. Although some people probably would enjoy living in Iceland because it's so alone. So alone. Yeah. India. I'm gonna put India in the meh tier because India is like relatively developed, relatively democratic. It has a lot of issues and several countries needs to get better. We should put them right next to Israel, because they have relatively in the same situation. The rich live good, the poor live shitty. So this is Indonesia. So Indonesia is gonna go in the decent tier, right above Georgia, actually above Colombia too. Because pretty good country to live in. Like one of these like relatively democratic states in the good and decent tiers. Says that. Ireland is gonna go in the amazing tier, probably above Germany, but right below Iceland. Italy is gonna go in the amazing tier, right above France, Belgium, and the Baltic states. Japan, and this is gonna be a hot take. I'm gonna put Japan in the low good tier. I want to make a video later explaining why my views on Japan aren't like good. But to sum it all off now, they're like not the best country in terms of their democracy, and they're also very very harsh journalists and very very harsh with their people. So yeah, I'm gonna actually get into that later. South Korea's a little worse. Kosovo, Kosovo, yeah, I'm not definitely not in the amazing tier. Probably in the bad tier, like because it's like a secessionist state, can be invaded at any time. No one would ever know. I mean, the world would know, but like they wouldn't know when Kosovo would be invaded. Liechtenstein is going to. I'm going to put it in the utopia tier because if you live in Liechtenstein, like you can speak to your leader. You can like ask your leader, yo, do you want like a you want to you can ask your leader to get like a nice conversation. You'd be like, are you sure, buddy? Sure. So that must be amazing. And it's just like a neutral, so nobody gives a shit on anything. So probably better than probably only a little was probably better than Finland. Yeah. Moldova. It's gonna go with bad tier with Kosovo. Moldova was poor, neutral, so could be invaded. So yeah, there's that must really like that does suck. And like here's the thing: you go to any other European country, because Romania, Bulgaria, both of you guys live in. You can travel a little bit further, get to Germany or Poland. So I don't see why you keep living in Moldova. Like wow, like in the useless scale, Moldova is probably up there for most useless country. Uh, Montenegro, I'm gonna put like classic Balkan state. I'm gonna put here. I'm also gonna put North Macedonia here. New Zealand, just gonna be a one-of-the-mill good country to live in. I said Norway was going to be better than Finland. I think Norway is better than Finland because like less cold and more people. I don't know if there's more people, but it's something like doesn't have a border with Russia, so probably a little better. Not saying Finland's bad. They're still the best, yeah. Top three is still pretty good. Yeah, probably top. Is Sweden better than Finland? Yeah, I think we're gonna figure that one out later. Anyways, I have a headache, so we should probably finish this video soon. We don't have like what, like 20 more countries to rank. Poland's not gonna go in the amazing tier. They're gonna go a tier lower, right below Spain and Canada. Give it, I say give it a few years, and Poland's probably gonna be up here. That's like the really developed countries, and Canada and Spain are probably gonna be back in the this tier. So now we have Portugal, which we're not gonna put in the good tier. A bit high. I'm just trying to move it up. You put it in the amazing tier. I love the Baltic states. Because Portugal's a nice place to live in. Has good, like, it's on the coast, it's chill. So it doesn't really bore on your animes, So, oh no, Russia. Yeah, you can go with Belarus. It's a little better though. It's like Russia, like at least in Russia, like you get aid money from Belarus because Belarus has no GDP. Whatever GDP they do have goes straight to Putin. Still really shitty to live in though. But there is two countries on this list that are worse than Russia or Belarus by like a long, long shot. Singapore, we're gonna put in the good tier with Japan. It's kind of like Japan, but less democratic. Actually, believe it or not, they're kind of in the same level as democracy. They both have a dominant party system. It's kind of crazy. Slovakia, we're gonna put in like decent tier, good place to live in, not like amazing, blah 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 blah. Slovenia, Slovenia is actually like a nicely developed Balkan country, so I'm gonna put them in here with the Baltic states. South Korea is actually gonna go in the high met tier, decent tier. Like South Korea is like a more oppressive Japan and Singapore. Extremely corrupt tier. Sweden. Now for the question: is Sweden better than Finland? Well, that question is, yeah, probably. It has more people, less loneliness, better climate. Not on the board with anybody here. No one's gonna. I assure you that at this point, nobody's passing them on this list now. Switzerland. Switzerland's like neutral, but it's mountainous. So makes it good to defend. It's also mountainous. Still utopian, but like shows them off for being among the best of the best. The Czech Republic. We're gonna put them in the amazing tier. Above the Baltic states, Portugal, and Slovenia. Taiwan, we're actually gonna put them in the amazing tier. Below amazing tier, yeah. They're like the lowest country in the amazing tier, other than France, because like they still have China to deal with. But other than that, not really good. Britain, the United Kingdom. I'm not gonna put them in the tier. I'm actually gonna put them in a low amazing tier, right above the Baltic countries, Slovenia, the Czech Republic, and Italy. So middle amazing tier. Ukraine is faring significantly better than Russia, actually, because like high living standards. Like you can actually say government bad in Ukraine without being immediately shot or like sent to a prison for 15 years. Like without the war, they would be like up here maybe. Like they'll be here without the war. Except like Israel because like the like places like away from the war actually good nice places to live in. About places like on the front line are like here. They're even here. So we're gonna put Ukraine in this tier, just a little higher than Israel, which is ironically where we're gonna put Mexico. Not that far above because Mexico's in the cartel, so not a pretty good place though. And then I don't want to explain this. I don't really need to explain these two. China's a little much higher than North Korea, so that's my list. Again, I don't want to explain these two because it should be pretty obvious that they're the worst two on the list. So that's my list. Tune in again pretty soon. I don't know, man.